So this week we're going to jump right into the bits and pieces that you need to create a magnetic marketing message that cuts through all the other noise that's out there in your marketplace. Now, last week we talked about identifying your ideal client, figuring out what their pain point was, what solution they were looking for, and creating a message that resonates with them as an individual and their specific needs using their words. This is such a critical component in your marketing message that if you haven't listened to it, stop now, go back, listen to last week, and get to learn the actionable steps that you can take to really get to know your target audience. Once you have the words that they use to describe the problem that they want to solve and the resolution that they want to come to, then you are ready to really start crafting this magnetic message. Now, in your message, you want to clearly and concisely lay out what success looks like when they work with you and use your services. This needs to be done in a way that they can not only quickly and easily understand what you are going to offer to them and the value behind those services, but you also want it to be done in such a way that they are easily able to not only understand it, but then repeat it to their friends. I cannot tell you how many times I have met someone that seems fantastic. They seem like they know exactly what they're doing. I have talked to other people that have used them and gotten results. I have even worked with some of these people and gotten results myself. And then I went to refer one of these people that I'm talking about to someone else that I know and stumbled all over my words. I didn't know what title to give them. I didn't even know what to really say that they did. I tried to define the results that I got. And even though I was happy with the results that I got and felt like I totally got a huge return on my investment, I was not able to really refer this person. And there is nothing more frustrating for someone like me because I'm really good at listening to what people are telling me about themselves and their business and then creating this beautiful message that's concise, it's clear, it's ready to go. But in these circumstances, these people weren't my clients. I was their client and I loved the service and I wanted to refer them to other people and I couldn't really put into words what it is they provided or even the result that I got out of it. Outside of like a very specific result that was personal to me. So it really made it icky. When you are able to clearly define in a very short, easily memorizable way that makes you stand out as different than everyone else, people are much more likely to refer you and to be able to clearly share what it is that you do and how you serve your clients. A great way to do this is through storytelling because people were just programmed to remember stories so much better than facts and data. If you can lay out I started, I started here. When I'm referring to someone, like I started here, this is where I was. I was struggling with this. I went through this program. I learned these things. These are some of the steps and tactics and training and recordings and worksheets and whatever that we went through. And this is where I ended up. these are the results that I got. I grew this much in my business. I freed up this much of my time. I did these things. And if I'm able to lay that out in a like problem resolution sort of storyline and do it in a very short, memorable way, then I can refer that to someone else. So when you do it for your business, you're oftentimes going to lay out stories about your own clients, how they came in, where they ended up, or where they are now, still going through your program. And this is going to help build relatability, trust, and credibility. And so you can talk about your own story in a way that relates to your client. What you don't want to do is talk about your story from a, you know, my grandfather started this insurance company 75 years ago. He passed it on to my dad. My dad passed it on to me. And now here I am trying to sell insurance to you. Nobody cares about that story. The story they might care about is you remembering what it was like coming to work with your grandpa and seeing how your grandfather had such a heart for his clients and how he helped them when, a fire burnt down their barn or when a flood came into their basement and, all of their memories were in boxes like way too close to the ground in their basement. And so, I mean, we're talking like those newborn baby book photos that got completely damaged in the flood. And you got to see this family come in tears, and your grandpa was there and he hugged the wife and, he told her that he would do anything he could to like help her with this. And while he can't get the memories back for her, what he can do is he can, make sure that their basement gets fixed up and back together and ready to go. And when you saw that as a 9-year-old little boy, you knew that this is the kind of care that you wanted to have for your clients when you took over the business. Like that's a story that can resonate with your client because your client can think about what it would feel like if their memories got flooded in the basement, or if their barn burnt down, or if their home burnt down, or like they can feel that pain and that problem. And so many insurance agents are going to be like, okay, here's what your policy covers, here's what it doesn't cover, here's a check, see you later, bye. But you saw your grandfather with the personal touch and hugging the wife and giving cookies to the kids, and that's the kind of insurance agent you want to be. That's the kind of insurance agent everyone wants to have. That's a story that can resonate with your clients. That's a story people are going to remember. And the other thing that you can do when creating your magnetic marketing message is to incorporate a strong call to action. So after you tell this story, you end with, if you want an agent with a personal touch, call this number now. That's it. Because if you end the story with, and that's why I became an insurance agent, you're not getting any business out of that. And a lot of people feel really weird when it comes to a strong, clear call to action. But we go through life having to use so much brain power on so many things that all we really want is for people to tell us what to do next. So when you say, if you want an insurance agent that believes in this kind of personal touch, call me right now. Okay. I mean, that's what I want. But okay, here we go. Like, my insurance not up for renewal. I didn't have a fire. Like, I don't know. He told me to call him. And I promise you, this kind of stuff works. Don't assume that people know. A lot of people in this situation, I work with insurance agents, they're like, well, of course people know, like, I'm gonna lay out this story, it's gonna be beautiful. Like, "Hey, work with me. Click here to get a quote." Like, they know, like, there are options that, I gave them my website. There are like 3 different ways they can reach me on my website. They know what to do. They don't. They don't know what to do. Here's an example. Real life example. I went to one of those home and flower shows where there's all kinds of booths set up and you can taste things and see things. And I wanted to see flowers. There were not there were not any flowers, but there was lots of other stuff. And there were several, like an inordinate number of pickle stands. Pop by this one pickle stand, tried out the pickles. First, I tried the original dill pickles. Very nice. I mean, not soggy, solid crunch. Then I was given these like hotter than Hades pickles. And I like things spicy, but I was not like anytime I'm given something spicy, I'm like, yeah, okay, whatever. Mass produced spicy, it's whatever. I wasn't expecting it. It was spicy. It was nice, but it was spicy. And, I've got like my eyes are watering, mascara is running, other people are coming up to the stand. And I knew that I might be, giving off a little bit of a negative vibe. Because are you really going to buy pickles from the stand where the girl is standing there in front of it, just basically sobbing? Um, and so I started just telling people, these pickles are great. Try the original. Unless you just really, really like spicy, maybe stay away from these pickles here. Like they were hotter than I thought they were going to be. Very nice flavor. Like, trying to like make up for the fact that I'm standing in front of his booth with like mascara running down my face. And the man fills up this pickle jar with the original pickles. I've told 4 or 5 people, try the pickles. They're great. He fills up this jar, puts a lid on it, sticks it in a bag, hands it to me, and says in a very thick accent, "Pretty lady, these are for you." Now, I think he's appreciative of my like improv marketing efforts. And he's gonna give me some pickles because he feels bad about making my mascara run. And out of politeness, I say, "Oh, that is so sweet of you. What do I owe you?" And he told me that I owed him $20 for a container this big of pickles. They were good pickles. Like, don't get me wrong, but I wasn't planning on paying $20 for the pickles. However, as a marketer that preaches this stuff all the time, I was like, there's no shame there. Like, here's $20. Like, we're good. Because I'm getting way more than $20 out of this illustration that I've used over and over, because he didn't ask me if I wanted some pickles. He didn't say, "Hey, how about these original ones?" He heard me telling 4 or 5 people how good they were. He boxed it up, put it in a bag, handed it to me, told me I was pretty, and said those were for me. How am I going to say no to that? Just like the insurance agent. I know that you don't want to be treated like a number when you need to make a claim on your insurance. I know that you want someone who is going to treat you like a person and who cares for you the way my grandfather and my father have cared for you. So pick up the phone now. Let's talk. We will find a way where it makes sense for you to come work with us at Smith Family Insurance. Just lay it out for them. Make it easy. Make it simple. He knew I liked the pickles. He boxed them up for me, put them in a bag, told me to take them home. It's also important when you're creating your marketing message to try some different options and track the results. Because if you are not actually tracking the results of your marketing, you're never going to be able to improve and optimize what is happening. Tracking is not a gut feeling. Tracking is, I don't know, maybe. Tracking is actually looking at the numbers. Tracking is asking people, so thanks for calling today. How did you hear about me? Hey, thanks for reaching out in the DMs. Like, was there a social media post that really spoke to you? Like, what is making you reach out today? Um, like there are, and then in an Excel spreadsheet, a Google sheet, whatever you got going on, you need to track those numbers. Because if you know that there was one post that got you a whole lot of DMs with a qualified audience, you want to be able to like post that again. You want to be able to duplicate that. Maybe throw another picture on there, put an example up that's similar to that. Like that is something that is resonating with your audience, that's making them take action. You want to make note of it. You want to make note of what page on your website people are contacting you from. You want to make note of what podcast you were on that made people sign up for your free offer, and how many of those free offer requests turned into qualified leads that can actually go somewhere in your funnel. You have to track these things. You can't just get to the end of the year and be like, well, like I think social media brought in some stuff, and I think this podcast guesting thing brought in some stuff, and yeah, everything's fine. We'll just keep doing things the way we've been doing it. And we don't know where to double down. We don't know what to cut back on. We don't know anything because we haven't been tracking. Now, if you would like some clarity on your brand messaging, if you would like to know where in your website you could add some more clear calls to action, if you would just like me to take a quick look at your homepage and tell you what I think you do, what service I think you offer, and what step I think you want me to take, a quick little homepage audit, I would love to offer any of those options to you at no charge. Simply go to my website, click on the schedule a strategy session, and we will sit down for 20-30 minutes and talk about you, your business, and where there is room for improvement. This is not a sales pitch. This is just me offering value to you so that you can get a little bit of a better taste of how I operate. Then, if you would like to move that relationship forward, we can figure out what the best steps are. In the meantime, please, if you find this show valuable to you, subscribe and share with your friends and colleagues so that we can help even more people looking to grow their business. Until next week, I'm Jennifer with Limitless Impact Agency.